a presidential candidate for the Democrats is a ruthless endeavor. You either play ball with the status quo and toe the line for globalism, or you get ostracized like Tulsi Gabbard.
You need to acknowledge that Bashar al-Assad is a murderous despot, and you can still make your argument that the United States has no business risking blood and treasure in places where it should not be. I don't understand why you didn't give that answer last night.
And I don't dispute anything that you're saying there. He's a brutal dictator, just like Saddam Hussein.
Tulsi has been a Drudge poll favorite, racking up runaway poll numbers for both Democratic debates, almost doubling the numbers of all the other candidates combined. Media Matters claimed this was all rigged by 4chan, while Tulsi's campaign funding Google Adsense account had been mysteriously dropped during the height of her popularity. And now she has been deemed a Russian agent by Kamala Harris after she annihilated her during the debate.
She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. That would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so.
Filmmaker Michael Moore claims the Democrats need a fighter, yet he suggests Michelle Obama drop in the race rather than back a real fighter like Iraq war veteran Tulsi Gabbard, who continues to serve as a major in the Hawaii Army National Guard.
Who's the street fighter that can crush Trump? And frankly, I think there's a person that could do this. If the election were held today, there is one person that would crush Trump, and she hasn't announced yet. And her last name rhymes with Obama.
I use Tulsi Gabbard as an example of the rabid hunger with which the Democrats feed on their own destruction, born from their desire to destroy this republic. And so it is that very same mentality that fuels a chorus of Democrats who are pushing the envelope of national security by twisting the president's tough rhetoric about the crisis at the border.
Hate has no place in our country, and we're going to take care of it.
Do you think President Trump is a white nationalist?
Yes, I do.
We also have to acknowledge that we have a president of the United States who uses the microphone in a way that is about sowing hate and division in our country.
I want to say with more moral clarity that Donald Trump is responsible for this. He's responsible because he is stoking fears and hatred and bigotry. He is responsible because he's failing to condemn white supremacy and see it as it is, which is responsible for such a significant amount of the terrorist attacks.
All over the globe, we're seeing nationalism and isolationism take root everywhere.
The president unquestionably has aligned himself in his language with white nationalists and white supremacists. He's denounced the Latino immigrants coming to this country as thugs and animals. He has condemned it as an invasion.
The rhetoric that the president uses mimics white nationalist talking points frequently.
Domestic terrorism is not in and of itself an offense in this country. Although it is defined in the Patriot Act, it is not a criminal offense. We still, unbelievably, this day, have no domestic terrorism federal offense in the United States. And that is something that needs to change.
And it is a national disgrace that the media and the intelligence agencies are chomping at the bit to deem all those that question the narrative as conspiracy theorists, white nationalists, and ultimately domestic terrorists based on the manifesto of the El Paso shooter, while ignoring the equally dangerous leftist, anarchist, Antifa rhetoric that can be found on the Dayton shooter's Twitter page, which is still up as I make this report.
Anderson, they are still saying they don't have a motive, but two law enforcement sources telling us here at CNN that there were writings that were found from a search warrant at this suspect's home that show that he did have interest in killing people. But again, police are not saying anything about a motive.
Although he did like to listen to very strong, heavy metal music, he didn't seem to be bothering anybody. School officials told us this afternoon that he did graduate. Because it was 6 years ago, they did not have any records to share with us.
What we need as a nation more than ever right now is the truth, and not a group of Democrats politicizing tragedy or a media stranglehold leading us toward a senseless civil war. John Bound reporting.